Do you need to remove the trolling motor mount from your bass boat? I'm going to show you how. Stick around. So the first thing we're going to do is remove the foot pedal from the foot pedal tray, and we're going to take the foot pedal tray out altogether. Now your foot pedal is held into the tray by 3 screws, 1 in the back and 2 in the front. Okay, so 3 screws and that foot pedal is out of the tray. And now we'll just remove the screws from the perimeter of the tray itself. Okay, foot pedal and foot pedal tray are removed. And so now to remove the motor from the mount, it's just a matter of unscrewing this bracket here, and we can take the motor off. Okay, so now the motor is free from the mount, so we can go about removing the mount from the boat. And so in order to remove the mount from the boat, we're going to have to get underneath this bow section here, because it's held in by 4 bolts and 2 screws. And so we're going to have to get underneath there. So for the most part, I'm going to use the hole where the foot pedal tray goes to reach underneath, but I'm also going to remove this panel here because it gives you a good line of sight to the ends of those bolts to get the, to get on the nuts there. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this panel here, this front panel. Okay, so here I'm going to remove my Lowrance unit wires. And right here we have the wiring for the trim switch and the plug-in for the trolling motor. And that's plugged in here. So I'm going to remove this zip tie. And then remove that plug. So that was the wiring for the trolling motor outlet, and so you have the trim switch here, the engine trim switch, and that has this wire clip here, and that's just a matter of unclipping it. So now we have that panel removed. And you can see here that gives you an opening, it gives you a line of sight, so you can reach through this hole to get at the bolts underneath here, but this gives you a line of sight so you can see. And so to make it even easier to access in there, both by sight and by reaching, I'm going to remove the navigation light port, which has the horn attached underneath it. It kind of takes up some space under there, so I'm going to unscrew that and pull that out. So just to make sure I get the wire connections right when I put this back together, I'm going to go ahead and take a picture before I take it apart. And now that I've taken photographs of it, I'm going to go ahead and cut the wires, and when we put it all back together, I'm going to go ahead and just make new connections. And so here is your front navigation light, port, and horn unit. And it also has this gasket that goes underneath it between the housing of this and the boat, and of course the top that covers the opening for your nav light. So in order to remove the mount itself, the first thing we need to do is take the 6 screws out of the plastic cover here. It's got 3 screws on either side, 3 on this side and 3 on this side. So we're going to remove those screws. And once you have those screws removed, this piece just slides off. And now you will see here that it is attached to the boat by 6 points. 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. Now I don't know if it's the same for all boats, but these 4 are bolts, so they are nutted underneath, and these 2 are screws, so I can unscrew those. So now that we have those 2 front screws out, I can reach underneath, put a wrench on the nut, and take these 4 bolts out. Okay, so with those 6 points of contact removed, you can now remove the mount from the boat. Now there may be any number of reasons that you need to remove your trolling motor mount from your boat. In my case, I'm removing it because I'm doing some painting. But in any case, anytime you remove that mount, if you have one of these strapped tie downs, it goes underneath the mount against your boat, and you use that to secure your trolling motor. So when you lift up this mount, you remove this. I will caution you from experience, when you reinstall your mount later on, don't forget this, because if you go through all the trouble to bolt this in and you forget this, there's no way to get it underneath there again unless you unbolt it again and put it underneath. So don't forget to put your strap back down before you put the motor mount back down when it comes time to reinstall, or if you're installing a new one. So there you have it. We have the trolling motor and the trolling motor mount removed from the boat. So if you have a similar setup to this, or if you have the same trolling motor or the same boat, I hope this video was a help to you if you have a reason to remove your trolling motor mount from your boat. Hey, we'll see you next time on Chicken Thigh Fishing. Until then, stay fishing, my friends.